This week in gaming and tech news, we've got a response from Jensen Huang about the DLSS 5 backlash. We've also got even more layoffs in the gaming industry, and we're also going to talk about the current state of the gaming industry. So let's get right into it. So last week I mentioned about the DLSS 5 showcase, them showing the gameplay of it being used. Recently, after a press Q&A event at the GPU Technology Conference, someone took a question from Tom's Hardware saying, well, first of all, they're completely wrong, while reiterating that some control over the implementation remains with the game developers, but stating DLSS 5 fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. It's not post-processing at the frame level, it's generative control at the geometry level. He also said that all of this is in direct control of the game developer. But the thing is that you see all the time these companies arguing for AI. This is just not what people want. You see the damage to a company's reputation if they've accidentally implemented AI. Like Crimson Desert left assets created by AI for a painting, and they got so pelted for it that is it even worth it? But then Jensen Huang appeared on the Lex Friedman podcast saying, I think they're talking about gamers' perspective makes sense, and I can see where they're coming from because I don't love AI slot myself. All of the AI generated content increasingly looks familiar and they all beautiful, so I'm empathetic towards what they're thinking. But he's also said that's not what DLSS 5 is trying to do. I showed several examples of it, but DLSS is 3D conditioned, 3D guided, it's ground truth, structured data guided so the artists determine the geometry in every single frame. He also said that you can give it even an example and it would generate in the style of that with that consistent artistry. I just think this is all really, really messy. It feels like he's just trying to play the investment side and also still keep the gamers on his side. And that's where all this mixed modeled up AI terminology about its processing, how it works. I do feel like this will eventually get to a stage where this is just going to be implemented in all games. The developers are working with it, making the game around DLSS 5. And be optimized around that. But we just have to wait and see how this develops. Let me know what you guys actually think about DLSS 5. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. This is what you want for gaming. Do you see it making gaming evolve and is the future, or do you see it might be a hindrance in the gaming industry as we move into the future? Well, anyway, next. Okay, each video I talk about layoffs, and it's like a different company each time, and I'm like, each time I read about a new article from a different company doing it, a bit inside me just dies. And we are becoming to the end of the financial year, so I guess that is why a lot of companies are doing it now, just to raise their capital and making those cuts so they can go into the new financial year more profitable. A note to Epic employees said, today we're laying off 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making. We have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings, is in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'll leave it down in the description below if you guys want to read. If Epic has to release players, what do some other games have? Like Ubisoft also did layoffs with one of Tom Clancy's studio, Redstorm, resulting in 105 job losses. So it's all these companies doing it, and if Epic has to do it, what does like some smaller companies that don't have a successful game have to do? Oh, it's just so cooked, man. And I've really been getting into Fortnite again. As soon as I get into it, there's so much backlash for Fortnite. Players are boycotting, buying V-Bucks, buying skins. This season had one of the lowest starting play counts in. Like, they're pushing the collabs, which is probably what makes them most of the money. And that's what their focus has been on. But a lot of these layoffs I've seen on X, just people who've been there for quite a while as well. So if they're sacking those people who've been there for a long time, I saw that the person who designed the Jonesy skin has been sacked. Are they pulling away from Fortnite? They're just doing kind of not on the same scale as High Gods, obviously, because Fortnite is the is probably the biggest game of all time, arguably. But are they just having enough employees just to support the game? And is that what we're just gonna have in the future of games? We're not gonna have any innovation, support the game. We're just gonna have enough, keep the game running, and you might get some minor fixes, bug fixes, and that's about it. I don't even know. I do think this is worrying times, not just for gaming, in every job as well. AI is definitely caused a lot of job losses, and it's probably just going to get worse. But to be fair, Tim Sweeney did say that the layoffs aren't related to AI. Fortnite did recently do V-Bucks price hikes. You're getting less V-Bucks from the Battle Pass, so they're doing a lot of measures just to save some money. But this is one of the biggest live service games, and they are even struggling. This just proves that the live service model doesn't really work. Is that Fortnite had it all, and they're still having to do these layoffs. I know it's quite an old game now, but they still have quite a dedicated player base. And also, like, not just with layoffs, but Nintendo have recently, an article from Bloomberg also stated, Nintendo Switch 2 are going to cut production by a third, following a weak holiday sale in the US particularly. But it did have stronger sales in the homeland of Japan, with the Nintendo president acknowledging that domestic hardware sales volumes exceeded our expectations, while overseas sales were slightly weak than our expectations. The Switch 2 has struggled with their first party games. It has had a lot of games, but I feel the quality hasn't been there. Like, we don't have the Breath of the Wilds, the Mario Odyssey, the Splatoon 3. I mean, honestly, what's kind of probably saved the Switch 2 is Pokemon Copia. And I've just got that game and I'm so addicted to it. So they are getting those games now. And I'd probably say it's only 2 games to really get a Switch 2. And that's Donkey Kong Bonanza and Pokemon Copia. I feel like Pokemon Legends said away, Mario Kart World, probably what's made it sell quite well domestically. I haven't really felt that they're a reason to get the Switch 2. I feel like on the Nintendo side, they just need to release more first party games. But that is something I want to talk about, the current state of the gaming industry, just from all these layoffs. As gaming's becoming more, I do feel like as gaming's becoming more and more expensive, making it harder to get into it. Gaming used to be one of the easiest hobbies to really get involved into. But now I do feel like with all the AI causing RAM shortages, and video games costing even more, that it's been probably quite difficult to get into. I also think we're getting a lot of good quality games as well. Like, I feel like video games, if you already got the hardware, it's probably one of the best times. We're getting Expedition 33, Slay the Spire 2, Pokemon Copia, so many different types of games. Indie games especially now are popping off. Each week I see a new indie game and it's like got so many good reviews compared to these live service AAA games. It's really good to see that side of the gaming industry. But then you see these layoffs, you see the live service slop we're getting, and it's just a very confusing time. I haven't got Crimson Desert and I'm stuck. Do I want to get it? I've heard so many different people's opinion on it. Some people really enjoy it, some people say the combat doesn't really work, they're doing too much. Then some people saying it's too good, and I feel like, do I get it or not, man? I don't know. So that's where the indie games are popping off. You don't spend as much, and might even be higher quality. You got someone who's getting it's going to be created by some developers that really were passionate about it. I just wanted to talk about this current state of the gaming industry, and I don't really know where we're going from here, but let's do this together. Next. To be honest, I think I'm just going to go into the quick fire round now. There isn't many big stories I wanted to go over in this video. Okay, so first of all, social media bans and digital curfews to be trialled on UK teenagers. Test is led by the UK government, which will see 300 teens have their social apps disabled entirely, blocked overnight, or capped at 1 hour's use to compare their experiences. So they want to just test how much of an impact does banning social media have compared to not. These pilots will give us the evidence we need to take the next steps, informed by experiences of families themselves. So they're gonna probably start testing out and analysing, should we start banning social media like what's been done in Australia? I wouldn't be opposed to them banning it for teenagers. I feel like there is a lot of negativity caused by social media. Okay, some Subnautica 2 will finally enter early access in May following years of delays and legal drama. But on that, there is even more legal trouble, with apparently it was intentionally leaked for the May release without consulting the reinstated CEO. Apparently Crafton, the publishers of Subnautica 2, announced that launch without any regard to the impact on the game team or the community. I guess we have to just see what happens with this. Bethesda have said that the main focus right now is Elder Scrolls 6. If you guys are interested in Crimson Desert, it has recently got a Metacritic score of 78, but it does have a user score of 8.3, so if that's something you want to use in your decision. OpenAI closes its Sora video making app and cancels $1 billion Disney deal. OpenAI told the BBC that it has discontinued Sora so that it can focus on other developments such as robotics that will help people solve real-world physical tasks. OpenAI are planning on a desktop super app that combines ChatGPT, Codex and Atlas browser into one app. Sony are reportedly shutting down another first-party studio, Dark Adult Games, a studio hired by the console maker to make an unknown first-party title. Sad to see there's even more layoffs happening. Sony are also reportedly just dropping the PlayStation Network branding and the PSN branding. These changes are just purely visual and not introducing any new alterations or offerings, and it's done to just unify the branding. And also in future only PlayStation games, it will use AI to imagine new frames. We've seen a lot of success from this technology, especially from the Switch, how it's made a lot of games perform so well on a handheld. We saw this used in Resident Evil Requiem, but it's unknown if this is for like PlayStation 6 or will it come to the PlayStation 5 Pro. There was also an article on apparently Xbox's new CEO reportedly wants to make Game Pass more affordable. Xbox's new CEO Asher Sharma recently got back from Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, and one component of her talk involves making Game Pass more affordable. I don't really know how they would do this and make money, but it reportedly went on to talk about partnerships with Netflix CEO, maybe having a bundle for subscriptions where you get Game Pass and Netflix together. I don't know, would you guys want to see it bundled up with it? I wonder how many people pay for Game Pass and Netflix. But there definitely could be some things done to probably make Game Pass cheaper but lower the value. Maybe not have games come on first day, for example, or just like probably remove Call of Duty from Game Pass or something. But it's interesting to see them kind of U-turning if they actually do this. Xbox also disabled quick resume on some games that users can select. Honestly, the quick resume feature is really good on single player games, but games that always require a connection, which is quite a lot of games that I play, it kind of a useless feature because it tries to connect to the server, fails, it makes you go back to the first screens. It's good to see finally after like 6 years it's coming. The new Spider-Man brand new trailer beats GTA 6 record after the trailer pulled up 700 million views in 24 hours. Meta and a rogue AI led to a serious security incident at Meta. So an OpenClaw-like AI agent gave a Meta employee inaccurate technical advice, which led to the explosion of data. So Meta employees had unauthorized access to company and user data thanks to an AI agent that gave an employee inaccurate technical advice. And some good news, The Witcher 4 is steaming ahead as CD Projekt rapidly expanded with 220 new developers in the past year, and nearly 500 working on the new RPG. So it's good to see expansion, even more devs getting jobs. So I am really excited for The Witcher 4, and we just have to see how it goes. We have been used for our data once again with Pokemon Go. Players have unknowingly been helping to train delivery robots from the parent company of Pokemon Go, using that data caught from the game to train their delivery robots. So we might be getting a new Switch too for the EU with a replaceable battery, as apparently Nintendo is reportedly updating console specs to comply with EU's rights to repair rules, while Nintendo will also update its Joy-Con 2 controllers for Europe with replaceable batteries. We also got a lot of Minecraft news with Minecraft Dungeons 2 coming out. And on some kind of unrelated news, there's also going to be a Minecraft World theme park in London. Mindseye have ended their partnership with IO Interactive. We also might have ads in Apple Maps. Man, imagine I'm just like, oh, I just want to be directed the best way, but with ads, I feel like KFC pay to be directed past a KFC restaurant. Man, I thought the maps were safe. Google Gemini will make its way into Dragon Quest X to power chatty slimy AI component Square Enix have announced. So I feel like this would just be like how the Darth Vader worked in Fortnite. You'll be able to talk to it, and there'll probably be a lot of people trying to break it. Should just have to see how this goes. Finally, on some good news for this solo developer, a tower defense game. Tangy Tower Defense has made over 250k since early March on Steam. It's good to see the success of these indie games. This has definitely been a success story. This indie games popping off, and I just wanted to celebrate this. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.